world do you pull off this royal transplant? How do you convince thousands of worker bees to accept a total stranger as their new leader? Well, that's what we're here to break down. Let's get into it. First things first, you have to understand just how high the stakes really are. This isn't just another task on the beekeeping checklist. This is crisis intervention. Think about it. A colony is like one giant organism, and the queen, she's the heart. She's the one laying all the eggs. Without her, there's no next generation. The hive is on a countdown to collapse. So yeah, replacing her isn't just a good idea, it is absolutely a matter of survival. If you want this to work, it is all about the prep work. You can't just toss a new queen in there and cross your fingers. Nope. You've got to set the stage perfectly, and that means following a few golden rules. All right, these are the non-negotiables. First, the colony has to be truly queenless. They need to feel that loss. That also means no eggs and no young larvae, because if those are present, the bees will just try to raise their own queen. You've also got to go through and destroy any emergency queen cells they've started building. And here's a really fascinating bit of bee psychology. This works way better in weaker colonies with more young nurse bees. Those older forager bees, they're much more suspicious and way more likely to reject a newcomer. So, how long does the hive need to be queenless? The magic number is at least 3 days, and this waiting period is absolutely crucial. See, the old queen leaves behind a unique scent, her pheromones, that basically tells the whole hive she's there. It takes about 3 days for that scent to completely fade away. And only then does the entire colony have a collective panic moment, realizing she's really gone. That's when they become desperate enough to accept a new one. And you know what? Size totally matters here. This direct introduction technique works best on smaller colonies. We're talking ones that take up fewer than 5 frames. You can think of it like social math, right? A smaller population means fewer defensive bees and less of a bond to the old queen. It's just an easier crowd to win over. Okay, this stage is set. The colony is ready. Now for the main event, the actual techniques you're going to use to make this royal welcome happen. So the core principle behind pretty much all of these methods is something called scent masking. Every single hive has its own unique smell, kind of like a family perfume that comes from the queen. It's how they know who's family and who's an intruder. The whole goal is to temporarily confuse that scent, to mask it so the new queen doesn't immediately get identified as an enemy. The most common way to do this is the sugar spray method. It is so simple, it's honestly beautiful. You just mix up a light sugar water solution, open the hive, give all the bees a gentle misting, and then you release the new queen right onto the frames among them. And the reason this works is just brilliant. Suddenly, all the bees are sticky, and their powerful instinctual need to be clean kicks in. They all get super busy grooming themselves and grooming each other. And in that moment of colony-wide distraction, the new queen can just move in, start releasing her own pheromones, and be accepted into the fold. They're just too busy to be aggressive. Now, sugar spray isn't the only option. Some beekeepers prefer using a fine dusting of powdered sugar, achieves the exact same thing, gets them all cleaning. Others like to use aromatic smoke, maybe smoke infused with something like mint or cloves. Different methods, but the principle is always the same. Disrupt, distract, and introduce. Now for a slightly more dramatic approach. Some beekeepers will literally shake all the bees off the frames into the bottom of the hive, creating a moment of pure chaos. Then they spray that disorganized pile of bees with sugar water and just release the queen right into the middle of it all. Amidst all that confusion, she's accepted as everyone tries to get reoriented. So the queen is in, but your job is definitely not over. The next phase is all about patience and careful observation. This is the vigil. Okay, so what's next? Well, the number one rule is to resist that powerful urge to constantly open up the hive and check on them. Just give them space. A great tip is to add a new frame of wax foundation. If the bees start building it out, that is a fantastic sign that she's been accepted. It's also a really good idea to add a frame with a little bit of brood from another hive. Think of it as an insurance policy. It keeps the colony's numbers up, and if the worst happens, it gives the bees the resources they need to try again.